Welcome to another Mastermind Book Club session. Here tonight with you are some of our team members getting ready to go over a very important book by Louise Hay. Does anyone remember the title?
It's called You Can Heal Yourself.
That's right. You can heal yourself. You can heal your life. Is actually
heal your life.
And yourself is where this book is headed to. You're healing yourself, your life. It's a very powerful book, and it hits each and every one of us at our point in time for different reasons. So in the next few minutes, we'd like to give you a brief summary on how this book has impacted us. And I'd like to start out with Charles. Charles, can you give us our 1 minute review?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. In the book, I saw the power of actually healing yourself or healing your life by going back, looking at incidents that actually kind of threw you off. I even tried to do some of the exercises, and I found it a little bit tough. But I followed what she said. I wrote down several people who have offended me. Some family members, some friends, and I tried to focus in on just letting it go, whatever it was that happened. And through love and through positive thoughts, I was able to get some breakthrough into what they had actually done to me. So the book is super positive. It has some great exercise in it that could really change your life.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Very powerful review. I appreciate that.
Very beautiful.
Who would like to go next?
I can go next.
Go ahead, Martha.
Yes. I followed Louise Hay for a couple of years ago, and she have a beautiful soul, an amazing woman, and she have a very traumatic childhood. And she started in 1984. She has to start writing her Facebook, and she have 101 affirmations.
What is good on this book, Martha? What is good on this book? Not a history.
She say, I just want to talk a little about her because
we'll leave it for after the recording, because I'd like to get a quick summary on this book.
Okay, I got for her, every soul we think create our future, and every thought we think create our future.
Creates. Yes, it does.
Create our future.
Now that is powerful, Martha.
Yes.
That is very powerful.
I am in the process. She say the people have to have the process of positive changes in life. And she says something like, I know beyond other people fears and limitations. And she trusts the process of life. And I'm willing to letting go. My happy souls help me create my healing body. For me, this is very powerful because the happiness can heal my body. It can heal everybody's body.
Beautiful.
Not only my body.
Beautiful.
And you have to leave the past is over, and leave the resentment and forgiveness for people you hurt you in negative way.
Sometimes we forget to leave the resentment, and we forget to forgive. We hold on to resentment, and we forget to forgive. Very powerful. Thank you, Martha. And that is the truth,
welcome.
That our thoughts do create our futuristic selves. Thank you. Gina, Reg, or Dennis, we have our 1 minute review. Any of you? Going once, going twice. All right.
All right, I'll jump in.
Go ahead, Reg.
I thought somebody else was going to go ahead. So basically, what do we have here? In this book, You Can Heal Your Life. Ultimately, when we're talking about healing our lives, the person who is going to be able to heal our lives is ourselves, because we're basically the architect, the doctor, the person that functions, the person has the function to be able to do that. But in order for you to be able to do that, you have to take control of the situation, and you have to ask yourself the right questions. You have to do some digging. You have to examine what it is that you've been through, and you have to be upfront with yourself. If you are able to do some of those things, you can start to really begin to unpack a lot you might have gone through, and then you can start to really break it down to where you can get to the point where you can actually begin to see where all of those issues or some of those issues may lie, and you can begin to heal yourself by doing the proper exercises that will allow you to heal. So really, ultimately, it's really it's your decision as to whether or not you want to do that, and it's something you have to put the work into. And each of us has areas that we need to cover, and if we will just take time to cover those areas, if we do believe that there's something that we can fix or amend or make better, then we will be able to do that. So I would say for all of us, for those who wish to make some changes in their lives, to really take a look at this book and really give it some solid time and really put some effort into it. Because if you should happen to do so, you definitely can make some changes in your life that can be very, very rewarding in the end.
Thank you, Reg. It's true. You can have a very rewarding life in the end, but you can also have a very rewarding life now if you choose to. And that's one of the wild things that we sometimes neglect. Gina, are you ready?
I am.
All right.
And I was just thinking as I was listening all last week on Think and Grow Rich, and Napoleon Hill was referring to a round that he had, and I was thinking if I were to create a round table, Louise would be a part of that. Sorry, I don't know why my alarm is going off. Sorry about that.
It happens.
So yeah. So she has some things that kind of like stuck out to me in the book, and one of them was about forgiveness. And I don't know if you recall, David, I wrote an article in the book, our little book that we had on forgiveness. And she said, we should say this, like, on a regular basis: I forgive you for not being the way I wanted you to be. I forgive you and set you free. So that was kind of like one of her affirmation. And it was one that she said that we can use for our parents, because they were not perfect. When they brought us up, I mean, who's perfect, right? So sometimes we kind of think, oh, I want to the way I'm like this because, my mom did this to me, my dad did this to me, somebody else did this to me. Yeah, sure. Certain things happened to us when we were, children, and they continue to happen to us. But if we don't let them go, they're going to continue to plague us, in a sense. Another thing that she said that really stuck out to me: would you dig into yesterday's garbage to produce today's meal?
Ooh, powerful.
I thought that was pretty profound.
Powerful.
Like going back into the past, we're trapped by the past. We get caught up back there, and we kind of like become victims, or so we think that we are. And, we keep playing that fiddle over and over again. How do we move ahead and live a good and clean life? One that's exciting, one that we make up, rather than one that has already been preset for us, so to speak. We just create our own reality. So very interesting book. Love this lady. I think about some of the things that I go through in life, and I was like, wow, I want to read this book again, because it says that you need to read it twice at least and start to apply it. Just like, the one that we did last week as well. And so I encourage us all to go back and read this book and, and gather from it all the real great information that we can get from it to live the best life ever.
Well, put it in your calendar and put a reminder for either April, May, or June, and we can listen to it again if you'd like. Right. And I'll leave that ownership on you. Thank you, Gina. Dennis, would you like to give a review, or are you just listening? If you don't talk, then we'll understand. 1 minute review. Dennis, you there?
Nope. Can you hear me?
Hey, loud and clear. Hey, Dennis.
Very good. No, I'm in the process of figuring out which garbage is my gold from what you just said. So yeah, I'm in the middle of this book was very perfect. I just I'm still mulling over the weight of the possibility of change. So I listened to most of it. I didn't listen to all of it. So my best is exactly believing that you have the chance of choice for change.
Beautiful words. Believing that you have the chance of choice for change. Beautiful. Jeez, that is powerful. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, Dennis. Anything else, Dennis, you want to say? Or are you good?
No, it's a good book, and that's what I started getting from the first part of the book that I actually had a chance to listen to,
Fabulous.
and
Fabulous.
just believing that you have that chance for
choice of change. And one I want to add to that. Some of the things that hold us back is just our limiting beliefs, limiting words, limiting thoughts. And I did a session for my kids on a weekly basis. I attempt to record for them, and Louise Hayes hit exactly where I needed to hit. And I was like, oh my God, I did this session on limiting beliefs, but I can go much deeper on limiting beliefs. And each and every one of you mentioned a limiting belief. And I was like, oh my God, this is very deep. And I just want to say very quickly, one, Louise Hayes was abused. She dealt with it. She moved on and she grew up. She made errors. She's not perfect, but she moved on and she grew up from that experience. She met successful people who got her to where she ended up with her life, because I think she passed away a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And that's one. Two is I have a knee injury, and according to her perspective, it makes sense to me. Meaning, when you have a knee injury, there's a bend somewhere, that there's a challenge somewhere, and that's right. I have a challenge in my life, and that challenge very quickly is with our daughter. My wife has a certain way of looking at healing. I have a different way of looking at healing. What have I done? I have attempted to accept her way as much as I am 90% against it. I attempt to go with it. Why? Because I can go against it, but what's going to happen with our relationship? It's just going to go sour. You can heal your life by accepting things that maybe you're not in agreement with, but eventually will make you change. Ty, would you like to add to Louise Hayes' book? Anything? Your 1 minute review?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I like to say she made me think about like the law of attraction and what I put out, or what my thoughts are. Because my thoughts are alive, that whatever I'm thinking about, I can also create in my actual physical atmosphere, because my thoughts will become actions eventually. So also, like almost like with thinking. If you're thinking stinking, then you're gonna get stinking things. So basically, to just stay on a positive note in what you're thinking, and however and whatever it is that you're after, just make sure that you stay positively thinking on that.
Beautiful. Beautifully said, Ty. And I just want to sum this up with Martha, who was going to hit upon her Louise Hayes history, and I wanted to give her a minute to sum up some important detail about her history, because I know she's read about Louise Hayes just like some of us have. Go ahead, Martha. You got 1 minute on her history.
Okay, Louise Hayes had a very traumatic childhood. She was abused.
Yes.
And his resentment created her life miserable. She didn't believe in herself. She always thinking negative about herself. And she created cancer in her body about all the resentment he had for the years abuse. And she tried to heal herself before she had an operation. And she tried very hard, and she got healed for cancer. Did you guys hear me? Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay. She was healing herself for cancer. And after she do a lot of nutritionist therapies, and she had to clean her soul for all the anger he had inside her. And when she released all this garbage out of her body started to healing. And that's what she created this book, You Can Heal Your Life. And this is the truth. You can heal your life if we take all the resentments, all the angers and forgiveness for a better future. And And I believe in her. I really, she's a amazing woman. She have a beautiful soul. And she have a wonderful books that millions of people in different language. And she passed away like 2 years ago. And everybody missing her because she's amazing. She's really amazing.
She has left a legacy behind that has impacted us. Look at us going over this book right now. Thank you, Martha, for that brief history on Louise Hay. And there's so much more to know about Louise Hay. And I believe we went over another book of hers, but I don't remember what the title was. I can look back into that. But I know that she has many other powerful books. And I just want to end this recording session on this. If you believe that you're going through tough time, if you're looking at a negative circumstance that has happened to you, your family, your history, what do you gain from holding on to that? This is the Mastermind Book Club signing off. And I just want to let you know, when you answer that question, you can either choose to keep holding on to that tight or move on and release it, just like Gina and everyone else said here in this class, in this session. This book is about healing your life, not about holding on to the negativities that you go through or that others have gone through before you. Take care, and until next week, this is the Mastermind Book Club signing off.